This real story happened on May 17, 2019 at the Korydallos prison near Athens, Greece. A prison truck loaded with dirty laundry seemed like the last place anyone would look for an escapee. But it was exactly there, among smelly socks and stained uniforms, that a prisoner was hiding. His name was Konstantinos Kostas Mavrodis, a man ready to do anything for freedom. His plan was simple: to quietly leave the prison walls behind, hiding inside a pile of textiles regularly sent to the laundry. However, fate had prepared a cruel joke for him. In the darkness of the sack, amidst the smell of sweat and cheap detergent, his nose began to betray him. He clenched his teeth and shut his eyes tight, but his body refused to obey. A loud, uncontrollable sneeze shattered the silence, and in that very moment, the prison guards froze, listening closely to the strange sound coming from the pile of clothes. This wasn't just a failed escape attempt. It's the story of how one absurd moment overturned meticulous preparations. How an allergy to laundry detergent robbed a man of his chance at freedom. And how, upon opening the sack, the guards found not a dangerous criminal, but a red-eyed sneezing man who at that very moment cursed his genetics more than the prison bars. Konstantinos Mavrodis never imagined that his childhood allergy to laundry detergent would one day destroy his plans. At 37, this stocky man with powerful arms and slow-wittedness had spent 15 years involved in small-time thefts. His latest feat, an attempt to steal a golden cross from a church, ended in failure when he got stuck in a window grate. In Korydallos prison, Kostas quickly realized he was not made for life behind bars. Overcrowded cells, filth, and constant humiliation from fellow inmates triggered panic attacks. And so one day when he saw the truck arrive weekly to collect bags of dirty laundry, something clicked in his mind. This is the perfect way to disappear. Who would even think to check smelly rags, he reasoned, watching lazily as guards tossed the sacks into the truck bed. Kostas envisioned himself slipping through the gates, changing clothes and vanishing into the alleys of Athens. He didn't even consider that his old enemy, allergies, could outsmart all prison guards combined. As it turned out later, it was precisely the illness he had long forgotten about that became the reason for his most humiliating failure. But at that moment, climbing into the sack filled with dirty sheets, Kostas was certain. Finally, luck had smiled on him. 3 weeks before the fateful sneeze, Kostas began preparing for the escape with a level of precision no one expected from him. He noticed that on Tuesday mornings, the truck picked up laundry from the prison hospital. Those sacks were checked less thoroughly. 2 problems remained: how to get inside the sack unnoticed and how to survive the trip in the heat among the dirty textiles. An accomplice appeared unexpectedly. Dimitris, an elderly janitor, agreed to help in exchange for 3 packs of cigarettes and a promise his name would never surface. It was he who had to leave a special sack in a hidden corner of the laundry room on the day of the escape. Kostas woke up before dawn. He sneaked into the laundry room and climbed into the prepared sack, pulling a wet rag over his face, hoping it would protect him from suffocation. But what he hadn't considered proved fatal. The hospital laundry was washed with chlorine-based detergent, which had caused his eyes to swell as a child. The first 5 minutes inside the sack felt bearable enough. Then came that familiar sharp odor striking his nose, his throat began to itch, and tears streamed from his eyes. Kostas clenched his teeth, realizing everything now depended on whether he could endure the irritation until the truck passed through the gates. But his body betrayed him at the worst possible moment. Right when the truck made its final stop before exiting, a thunderous sneeze echoed through the cargo area like a gunshot. The truck was already approaching the checkpoint at the gate when senior guard Yanis raised his hand and said, "Stop!" It seemed to him that something suspicious came from the truck bed. Not a mechanical sound, but something alive. In prison, such things are never ignored. The laundry sacks lay in a silent pile, but one of them, the third from the left, was slightly trembling. Yanis didn't bother asking questions. He simply poked it with his baton. In response came a muffled sound, as if someone was desperately trying to suppress a sneeze, but failing. When stunned guards untied the sack, they were met with a sight. Kostas was sitting curled up, his face swollen from allergies. His eyes were red, clear mucus ran from his nose, and in his hand he tightly held that same wet rag, which now looked like a pathetic excuse. In the air lingered the smell of detergent mixed with the sweat of desperation. "Well then," Yanis sneered, "were you off to the laundry, buddy? Or did you really think we'd believe a sack sneezed on its own?" Kostas was sentenced to a month in solitary confinement. 30 days of isolation felt like paradise compared to what awaited him upon returning to the general cell. His fellow inmates greeted him standing, solemnly, with homemade flags made from torn sheets. A banner proudly hung on the wall read, "Welcome back." The Sneeze King, that's what they called him in the cell block. Every morning began with a ritual. Someone would always throw a pinch of laundry detergent into his slippers. On his lunch tray regularly appeared special dishes, macaroni cleverly sprinkled with white powder. Luckily, it was always just salt or sugar. Even the prison barber once jokingly asked if he wanted a haircut in the style of a washing machine. The guards introduced a new inspection system. Now during morning checks, each bag of laundry was dramatically shaken and listened to. And the prison warden, walking past Kostas, always theatrically sneezed, triggering an explosion of laughter from those around him. But real fame found him when the story escaped beyond prison walls. A local reporter, learning about the curious incident, published an article titled, "Allergy to Captivity: How Laundry Detergent Saved Greek Justice." A meme instantly went viral online. A photo of Kostas with the caption, "Sneezed on the system." A laundry detergent brand unofficially used this story in their advertising campaign. Even in Parliament, someone joked about the need to include antihistamines in the prison budget. Nowadays, years later, this story has become part of prison folklore. Newcomers are always told the legend of Kostas Mavrodis, and that very sack, now faded and patched, holds a place of honor in the Museum of Failed Escape Attempts. Like if you think this is the most epic failure story ever. Subscribe. We have many more interesting stories you'll definitely enjoy. And by the way, Kostas still sneezes at the sight of a laundry detergent box, but that's already a completely different story.